The following is a presentation of a live presentation, too, of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and/or future. Good evening. I'm Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 23rd day of May 2023. And after days and days and days of protests and threatening letters and just out and out insults all over Facebook, Twitter, and other social medias, for the first time ever in the history of the 5 seasons that we've done baseball replays, there is no Saturday afternoon broadcast. Instead, after days and days of complaints, threats, stuff to my cat, can't believe it, we will be doing a Sunday afternoon game from July. Now, normally at the end of the season, we'll just do whatever's meaningful, but not usually in July. But because of the importance of this game, we broke off tradition and not did a Saturday game, but we'll do a Sunday game instead from Fenway Park in Boston. Surprisingly, the Red Sox are still hanging in there. They're 61-42. This is game 104 for them. And they will be hosting the first place Chicago White Sox, who are 64-38. This is game 103 for them. David Cone pitching for the Red Sox isn't the reason why we're doing this. Something about the shortstop. Not quite sure what the heck that's all about, but someone, again, bought billboards in Vermont. Billboards are illegal here, but he's going to get his game anyway. He better show up. All right? All right. That's the setup for you. Red Sox and White Sox next. As Retro Sports Network proudly presents 2001 in Action PC Season Odyssey. Today, from Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts, it is the Boston Red Sox and the Chicago White Sox. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulations and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. Again, don't see why this game is important. I have no idea who the shortstop is for the Red Sox. Never heard of him whatsoever. Anyway, David Cone gets the call for Boston. I believe he was only here for 1 year. He's 38 years old, making his 14th start at 25. 4-3, a 3.45 ERA. Coney throws that fastball at 89 and a ground ball pitcher. Was a 1994 Cy Young Award winner, I think, for the Yankees. Someone will fill me in on that at some point. His last pitch 5 days ago against the Blue Jays in an 11-5 win. He got the win. 5 2/3 innings, 98 pitches, 4 hits, 1 unearned run. He walked 2 and struck out 8, tying him with a season high that he with June 8th against the Phillies. Good evening, Bernie. How are you? Overall for Coney, 73 innings, 74 hits, 33 runs, 28 earned. 10 home runs, 28 walks, and 68 strikeouts. And no, there were no real threats, by the way, on that. This is Nomar's first game of the season, and Pesky Pole wanted it. So, but he'll be surprised when he watches this later. Here's how the White Sox will line up. Ray Durham will lead off at second base. Jose Valentin at short will bat second. Carlos Lee in left will go third. Maggie Ordonez in right cleans up. Jose Canseco, former Red Sox DH, is the White Sox DH. Paul Konerko at first will bat sixth. Leifer at third will bat seventh. Chris Singleton in center goes eighth. And Johnson behind the plate will bat ninth. Defensively for the Red Sox, it'll be Manny Ramirez a 4 and a 2 in left. Carl the Dinosaur Everett a 3 and a 4 in center. And Trot Nixon back in his familiar right field position. He's a 4 and a 7. Shea Hillenbrand is a 4 at third. The shortstop that cannot be named is a 7. Chris Steins is a 3 at second. Brian Daubach is a 5 at first. Scott Hatterberg behind the plate. He's a 6 and a 1, and Cone is a 7 with a 9.23. We show you the standings in a few minutes. I don't think the Red Sox stood much of a chance in real life as we went into August. But the return of Nomar Garciaparra, the Red Sox are certainly alive and well, and the run for the wild card. If not, still for the division. So it's something to keep an eye on as we move into August. Ray Durham stepping in at 303, 15 homers and 54 RBI. And by the way, tomorrow's broadcast at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, will be the first game from August. So we are done with July after this stream is over. Pitch to Durham. Here's a line drive over Nomar. And Manny will pick it up. Nomar really not in game shape. Couldn't quite time the leap. It is a warm day here in Boston. 85 degrees. Light rains. Wind moving left to right at 4 out towards the Prue. Jose Valentin at 274, 18 homers and 53 RBI. Durham, 16 steals on the year. The throw to first, and Daubach got the tag on him. So Cone now will concentrate on Valentin. Jose, little ground ball, Nomar in on the grass, and another poor play. And so 2 ground balls to Garciaparra, and the White Sox are pretty much doing a football move. Test the new guy. So first and second, nobody out for Carlos Lee at 265, 16 homers and 60 RBI. Cone sets and fires. Ground ball past Garciaparra. Manny throws it back in, and the White Sox have him loaded for Maggie Ordonez. Maggie at 325, 19 homers, and 82 RBI. So 3 ground balls to short and 3 base hits. Now I really want Pesky Pole to show up. Pitch from Cone. Ordonez strikes out a 1-2 curve that caught inside on the black. So here's Canseco, Jose at 273, 5 homers, and 11 RBI. 1 out, Durham on third, Valentin on second, Carlos Lee on first. Cone sets and fires. Fly ball left field. Manny will track that one down, makes the catch. Durham will tag and score without a throw, and it's 1-0 White Sox. Brings up Paul Konerko. Paul at 309, 18 homers and 82 RBI. Again, a light rain here at Fenway. Warm day, not a lot of wind. Pitch to Konerko. Ball 4, and so the bases are loaded again. For Jeff Leefer at 288, 12 homers and 32 RBI. He does have a grand slam. So 1-0 White Sox here in the first. Struck him out. Cone gets out of it. Nomar tips his cap. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. Half an inning in the books. White Sox won. Here come the Red Sox. So Sean Lowe, making his 6th start of the year, pretty much an everything pitcher for Chicago. 4-2, 3 saves, a 3.32 ERA. 30 years old, curveball at 84, and a ground ball pitcher. Last pitched against the Indians on the 24th. How you doing, Brad? 7 innings for Lowe, so his last 2 appearances have been starts. 109 pitches, 9 hits, 2 runs, 2 solo homers, and 7 strikeouts. Overall for Sean, 65 innings, 62 hits, 27 runs, 24 earned. 8 home runs allowed. He's walked 12 while striking out 32. Been a while. Wondered where you were. Twitch has been giving you grief about your login credentials for months. You finally got it fixed. Just in time for the pennant drive. Here's the Red Sox lineup for you. Chris Steins leads off at second base. Trot Nixon, the 1 in right. He'll bat second. Again, that scrub Garcia, whatever his name is, at short will bat third. Manny Ramirez cleans up and left. Dante Bichette, the DH, bats fifth. Carl Everett in the center will go 6th. Brian Daubach at first, batting 7th. Shea Hillenbrand at third, batting 8th. And Hatteberg behind the plate goes 9th. Cone, 26 pitches in his half of the first. Carlos Lee, a 6 and a 6 in left as we set the White Sox defense for you. Chris Singleton, a 7 and a 6 in center. Maglio Ordonez, a 4 and a 9 in right. Leifer, a 2 at third. Butch Hobson type numbers there. Jose Valentin, a 4 at short. Ray Durham, a 7 at second. Konerko, an 8 at first. Johnson, a 4 and a 5 behind the plate. And Lowe is an 8 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Chris Stein stepping in at 243, 5 homers and 22 RBI. And Steins laces this one into right center. Ordonez will pick it up for a leadoff single. So here's Nixon Trot having a magnificent year. 317, 24 homers, and 68 RBI. Lowe is ready. Nixon into center field, long gone. He put that up in the batter's eye, and it's 2-1 Boston. Nixon just jumped out in front of it for his 25th of the year. Bada bing, bada boom. So 2-1 Boston now as Nomar Garcia-Parra is introduced for the first time this year to the Fenway faithful. Now batting. Number 5. Shortstop. Nomar Garcia-Parra. Nomar Garcia-Parra. So Nomar in real life only had 83 at-bats. Hit 289, 4 homers, and 8 RBI. So he won't be up very long. But while he's here, he can do some damage. 2-1 Boston following the Trot Nixon homer. Lowe's pitch from the line. Ground ball base hit. So Nomar starts his 2001 campaign with a single. And that'll bring up Manny Ramirez. Manny at 321, 34 homers, and 98 RBI. Brad says, good interview with John and Giles a few weeks ago. Yeah, it was. John sure did some tap dancing over the why no sales question. John did a lot of tap dancing as far as I'm concerned. He will not be in the revival of Riverdance either. Pitch to Manny. Struck him out. Lowe got him on an 0-2 curve. Looking. So 1 out for Dante Bichette. Bo's dad at 329, 6 homers, and 33 RBI. Nomar still getting a good hand, standing on first. Struck him out. Lowe got him on a 2-2 curveball on the inside corner. And that'll bring up Carl Everett. Carl at 260, 12 homers, and 45 RBI. Lowe deals. Everett up the middle, a base hit. Singleton will pick it up. So Nomar will run for third. Singleton needs to get a good throw on here. Nomar just didn't stop. It's going to be a close play. Leifer got the tag on, and that's the inning. So Nomar trying to air it out his first game back, and he's thrown out 8-5. However, Trot Nixon's 2-run homer. The Red Sox get 4 hits on the 2 runs, and after 1, it's 2-1 Boston. So Chris Singleton will lead off for Chicago at 325, 5 homers, and 32 RBI. Johnson and Durham to follow. Cone deals. Line drive, center field, a base hit. So Chris is on for Mark L. Johnson. Mark at 216, a home run, and 2 RBI. Yeah, Dave was priceless. As usual, the is this going to take a while, Chiron? When Tebow told his cousin story. It's the first time he's used it for a story that was told besides me there, Brad. May it please the court. Johnson can bunt. There goes Singleton. Throw down from Hatterberg. Nomar caught the tag down in time. So it's a caught stealing. And 1 out and a 1-ball count. And again, the partisan crowd here at Fenway Loving everything Nomar Garciaparra is doing. Pitch to Johnson. Struck him out. That's 3 for Coney. A 1-2 curveball in there for strike 3. So opening 9 for David. Inning and 2/3, 33 pitches, 4 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Any truth to the Sox making a play for Ohtani at the All-Star break? It would not surprise me. That entire division is over 500. Although the Red Sox are 4th in the East, they're what Bernie would tell you what, they're 2 or 3 games out of the playoffs. The key is, for any team that gets Ohtani, is they're going to have him, I would think, an indication that he would sign there. I'm not sure the Red Sox would rent him. It's now raining heavier here at Fenway, by the way. Durham singled and scored in the first. Yeah, well, it would be short-sighted to empty the farm for just a couple of months. But like I said, I think that if they were to heavily pursue him, they would reach out to see if he would sign there. Bernie says he's way too expensive for the Red Sox. Brad says as long as he doesn't go to the Yankees. Bernie, you're out on the West Coast. What's your feel? He's going to go to Vegas and play for the A's next year. Pitch to Durham. Ray, ground ball back to Cone. David throws to first. Dahlbach is there, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the second here at Fenway. 2-1 Boston. So Dahlbach, Hillenbrand, and Hatterberg to face Lowe. Bernie thinks he'll go to the Dodgers. The Dodgers seem to have an endless pile of cash. Brian Dahlbach at 286, 17 homers, and 50 RBI. You'd think the Angels draw well every year, but they would put a team around the best player in modern baseball, and Mike Trout. This may be the first 21st century scene you've ever seen in the community. Yeah, I think so. Pitch to Dahlbach. Ground ball to first. Canercos there. Takes it to the bag. It is, however, 22 years ago. It wasn't last week. Here's Hillenbrand. Shea at 259, 6 homers, 31 RBI. Shea lines this one foul, third base side, and somebody who grew up in Rochester, New York made that catch. Time flies. ID's doing some Strat basketball from 2000 playoffs. 1-2 the count. You think LeBron's retiring after getting swept by Denver? Pitch to Shea. Struck him out. That's 3 for Lowe. 1-2 curve. 2 out for Hatterberg. Scott, 221, a home run, and 15 RBI. Lowe deals. Got him. That's 4 for Sean. Swung on and missed a fastball. So that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2, Boston 2, Chicago 1. Don't think LeBron will ever go away. He's 38. I think his kid... I think he wants to play 2 more years because his kid will be a rookie then. Going to USC this year. You just want him out of the Red Sox ownership. I don't think LeBron's making decisions. Jose Valentin isn't making the Red Sox decisions either. He singled his first time up. He was instrumental in getting the All-Star game moved out of Atlanta the other year. He looks older than 38. Pitch. Struck him out. A 1-2 fastball in there for strike 3. Brad is not inviting him over for dinner. So here's Carlos Lee. Carlos has a single. One of the 4 hits the White Sox have. Ground ball right side. Nixon will pick it up. So Lee has good speed. Here's Ordonez. Maggie struck out his first time up. Yeah, but you take his autograph if he offered it. Would you sell it on eBay or keep it? Throw to first. Lee is back. And now the Red Sox will pitch out and sell it. I figured you would. There goes Lee. Hatterberg down to Steins, and Carlos is out. So the Red Sox have thrown out 2 base runners tonight. 2 out for Ordonez and a 1-ball count. Right back to Cone, over to Daubach, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, and nobody left on after 2.5. 2-1 Boston. So Steins will lead off. Sean Lowe's opening 9, 37 pitches, 2 innings, 4 hits, the home run by Nixon. Both the runs. He has, however, struck out 4. He's pitched pretty well outside of that 1 bat. Steins singled and scored on the Nixon homer. Right back to Durham, behind, in front of the bag. Over to Konerko, 1 out. So that'll bring up Trot Nixon. Trot hit his 25th of the year, his first time up, and has now driven in 70. One of the reasons why the Red Sox are overperforming. Chopper down to first. Konerko to the bag. 2 out. Brad, what are you doing for projects? So here's Nomar, another standing ovation. His first game back. He singled his first time up and was thrown out trying to go from second to third. Pitch from Lowe. Fly ball, left center field. Singleton should get there. He does, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors for Boston. We go to the 4th, 2-1 Red Sox. Currently working on the next iteration of the bingo, in quotes, draft league for Beatles eternally. Oh? Do tell. Players that wore the numbers between 1 and 75. And Seiko, by the way, sack fly. RBIs, now driven in 12. Cone starts the inning. Ground ball past Nomar for a base hit. So the defense isn't there yet. All-time draft using all the Action PC seasons, 1880 to 2022, but every draft pick is randomly assigned a team in the year, as in the 32 Cubs, the 74 A's, the 06 Royals. Nice! Here's Konerko. Paul walked his first time up. Struck him out. That's 5 for Cone. Got him on a change. Swung on and missed 1 out for Leifer, who struck out his first time. Cone deals. Got him. That's 6. We got a good morning and a good afternoon. An 0-2 change on the inside corner. Now we'll bring up Singleton, who singled his first time up. Singleton had a Singleton. How about that? How you doing, Steeler fan? Jordan Alvarez is my good friend. He is 9 homers in his first little bit as my perfect team player. Brad says each owner will only get each franchise once. 30 picks per team, and no owner will get the same season twice. I would think not. Be careful those with some of those dead ball seasons. Yeah, 44 indeed. Singleton. Fly ball right field. Nixon coming in and makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. After 3.5, it's 2-1 Boston. So here are the standings on this Sunday. Again, we were going to do St. Louis and Chicago, but Chicago and St. Louis are well behind Houston. So we're doing the Sunday game. It's the first time, I think, in 5 years we've not done a Saturday game. Philly leads the Braves by 3 and the Marlins by 3.5. Houston by 5.5 over Chicago, 10 over St. Louis. Cincinnati, Brad, has hung in there. 12.5 back. They are not horrible. San Francisco by 4.5 over Colorado, 6.5 over Arizona. In the East, the Yankees 3.5 over the Red Sox. The White Sox continue to be the surprise this year. 5.5 over Cleveland. And Seattle just 5 up on Oakland. If the season ended today, we'd have a playoff game between Atlanta and Colorado. Denny Nagel and who's the other pitcher would pitch in that one, right? They both pitched for both Atlanta and Colorado. In the American League, Oakland has a 3-game bulge in the wild card, and Boston is chasing. Yeah, Boston knows overperforming. As you know, Ron, most bad teams still had at least one above-average player. The 62 Mets had Frank Thomas, for example. Awesome. I'm glad to have you back in the fold. Manny struck out his first time up. As we start the bottom of the 4th. Fly ball, left field. Back goes Lee. Away back there and gone. So Man Ram homers, and it's 3-1 Boston. His 35th of the year. And his 12th in the month of July. Just like with the Nixon homer, just left too much of it over the plate. Steeler fan would like to take this time to thank the Dodgers for trading Alvarez to Houston for reliever Josh Fields. Does Mommy still make the cookies? Very charitable of him. Here's Dante Bichette. Dante struck out his first time up. Speaking of Mrs. Fields, I'm sure you've all seen the picture of her as a ball girl for Oakland back in the 70s. Pitch to Bichette. Struck him out. That's 5 for Lowe. Brings up Everett, who singled his first time up. Popped up right side. Konerko calls for it. A heavy rain now, so I'm sure these pitchers won't. The tarpaulin will come on the field before too much longer. 88 degrees and no wind. It's just a steady, warm rain. Brian Dahlbach knocks the mud out of his cleats. He's 0 for 1. Better than a stolen side. There's absolutely no truth to the rumor that Astro is being retired, or Orbit's being retired as the Astros mascot. And Oscar the Grouch will be filling in. Pitch to Dahlbach. Brian strikes out. That's 6 for Lowe. And after 4, 1 run for the Red Sox on the solo blast by Manny. The lone hit and no errors. It's the Red Sox 3, the White Sox 1. So Johnson, Durham, and Valentine for the White Sox here in the 5th. In all seriousness about mascots, this has nothing to do with Orbit. Did you know that there is a mascot Hall of Fame? Pitch to Johnson. Line drive left field. Manny will pick it up. Johnson digging for 2. The throw to Steins, not in time. So the opening 18 for Cone. 4+ innings, 62 pitches, 7 hits, a walk, 1 run, and 6 strikeouts. Durham is 1 for 2. Ray has singled and scored, and that came in the first. The only reason why I knew there was a mascot Hall of Fame is that Wally, the Red Sox mascot, is nominated this year. You've read that before. Brad, it would make sense if it was founded by the Philly Fanatic or the San Diego Chicken. Those are the 2 most famous ones. Pitch to Durham. Ground ball to Steins. Over to Dahlbach. And Johnson moves over to third. You got to wonder if any of the college football dogs or horses would be considered as a mascot. Wasn't the Philly Fanatic the only mascot ever to get thrown out of a game? Here's Valentine. Jose 1 for 2. He has singled and struck out. Or did Lasorda get Youppi thrown out too? Up in Montreal. Valentine in the right field. Back goes Nixon away back there, and Trott is off the wall. There's not a big tall wall there. It's only 5 feet. But Jose rips it for his 20th double, and with 1 out here in the 5th, it's now a 1-run game, 3-2. So that brings up Carlos Lee. Carlos is 2 for 2. Okay, Youppi did. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was Youppi or the Fanatic. took one too many shots at Tommy Lasorda. Now, Youppi is unique for another reason. He is the only mascot I know of to do this. It is not being thrown out of a game. What is it? Hatteberg and Cone, as the rain pelts down here at Fenway, have a word. Lee strikes out. That's 7 for Cone. A 2-2 fastball got him looking. 2 out for Ordonez. Maggie is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Cone kicks and fires. There's a line drive. Steins is there. We're halfway home on a nice night here in Burlington. Not so nice at Fenway. 3-2 Red Sox. Youppi is the only mascot as defunct as his franchise? Nope. It does have to do with the Expos being defunct, but that's not what that is. We'll have the answer for you right after this. Well, if you joined us late, here's how we got here. No, the flaming bag of doggy doo was Kevin Millar on Tito Francona's desk. Jose Canseco, a sac fly on the first, made a 1-0 Chicago. Trot Nixon slammed a 2-run shot in the bottom of the first to dead center to make it 2-1. Then Manny Ramirez, a solo shot to make it 3-1 Boston. Just a moment ago, Jose Valentin doubled home Mark Johnson to make it 3-2. So on a day where it's just pouring buckets out here at Fenway, Sean Lowe, a 5-hitter through 4, has struck out 6 and given up 2 home runs. And the ageless David Cone, an 8-hitter through 5, he has walked 1, struck out 7, and gave up 2 runs. The WKU Western Kentucky mascot, I know that Gritty will be in there eventually for the Flyers. I have no idea who would be in the Mascot Hall of Fame. Again, the Chicken, the Fanatic, especially if he started it. Here's Hillenbrand. He struck out his first time up. So it does have to do with the Expos being defunct. Pitch to Hillenbrand. Shea, fly ball, left field. Lee, 1 out. For Hatteberg, who struck out his first time up. Low deals. Liner in the left. That will drop in front of Lee. Yeah, I do too, Brad. The Ted Gianalis, the San Diego Chicken, ought to get the Buck O'Neill Award for contributions to the sport. Who was the clown? I'm not talking about an actual clown. Close enough. I know who you're talking about. Chris Steins, by the way, 1 for 2. Single and a run scored. Low, opening 18, 68 pitches, 4 1/3. 6 hits, 2 homers. All 3 runs are earned and 6 strikeouts. Al Shat, okay. Youppi is still a mascot. I'll give you that clue. Pitch to Steins. Chris line drive to Valentin, who makes the catch. Hatteberg retreats back. 2 out for Nixon. It was massive home run in the first, made it 2-1. Max Packin was the name I was thinking of. He followed a generation later. Yes, Youppi switched sports to the National Hockey League. Man, my pronunciation's terrible tonight. Pitch to Nixon. Trot ground ball to short. Valentin goes across the way to Konerko, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 5, 3-2 Boston. Yes, Youppi is the mascot for the Montreal Canadiens. they adopted the suit. I can't imagine it's been the same person the last 20 some odd years. But yes, the Canadians didn't have a mascot, and now they do. Canseco had that sac fly and a single and an RBI, so 1 for 1. Cone starts the 6th. Line drive to third. Hillenbrand is there, 1 out. It is pouring buckets here still, and 90 degrees. Konerko has walked and struck out. He's 0 for 1. Ah! Yuppie was designed by the same puppeteer who designed the Fanatic. I could see that. She worked for Jim Henson. Oh, Big Red of WKU is in. Which makes sense when you see a 6-foot costume of something that hairy. Yes! Makes a lot of sense. Probably the most traffic the mascot Hall of Fame's had in a while. Pitch to Konerko. Gone. You can put that on the board. Yes, and we're tied at 3. Goodness gracious, he puts that off the Sports Authority sign over the monster seats for his 19th of the year. You kept Sean Casey and traded Paul. I didn't realize Konerko was with the Reds. So a 3-3 ball game here. 1 out in the top of the 6th for Jeff Leifer, who was 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. You kept Devin Tetcher's name I can't pronounce and traded Yasmani Grandal. Traded Todd Frazier, or kept Todd Frazier from Toms River, New Jersey, by the way, and traded Justin Turner, who's now with the Red Sox. Pitch to Leifer. Fly ball right center, and that ball is gone. So back-to-back home runs. It sounds like a Peter, Paul, and Mary song right now, Brad. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? You kept Zach Cozart and traded Didi Gregorius. So Cone has given up back-to-back home runs, and it's now 4-3 Chicago. Chris Singleton 1 for 2 with a single. I think they're holding on to Cone here, seeing if the tarp's going to go on the field. Thinking you may need to puff the magic dragon to get through the season. Imagine being a teenager and being told what that song is all about. Pitch to Singleton. Fly ball, shallow right center. Everett rides the dinosaur. Makes the catch, 2 out. For Mark Johnson, who's 1 for 2, a double, a run scored, and a strikeout. Johnson into left center, Everett coming in again, and that will retire the side. 2 runs, however, on the 2 solo home runs. Konerko and Leifer. We go at the bottom of the 6th at Fenway, 4-3 White Sox. Brad was in his 20s and learned watching that movie Meet the Parents. You had to look it up. Still didn't believe it. When I was a younger lad, my only drug as a teen, though, was baseball. And Coca-Cola for me. Domar 1 for 2, by the way, with a single. My dad, God rest his soul, when I was a teenager, threw a pair of headphones on me and played Puff the Magic Dragon. And so that song was one of the first hits to be in true stereo. And to hear it go back and forth between your ears is pretty cool. Pitch to Nomar. Fly ball, left center field. Back goes Singleton, but it will stay in the yard. 1 out. Manny Ramirez hit a solo home run. So 4-3 the score. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the White Sox. They've left on 5. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Red Sox. They've left on 2. Brad, being his decisive self there, going, come on, Sox. Pitch to Manny. Liner into right center. That's going to drop in front of Singleton. Chris should have made that play. And that'll do it for low. Gary Glover coming into pitcher. Got a pitching change this game coming to you from Fenway Park in Boston. We've had Gary on before. Gary is 4-3 with a save and an earned run average of 444. Making his 25th appearance. He's 24 years old. Fastball at 89 and a fly ball pitcher. Sorry, 43 years under Reinsdorf. There's an argument the Sox have had the worst ownership in the sport. The fans of the Pirates would like a word with you. And I'm sure there's some fans in Oakland who would like a word with you right now, too. Glover last pitched yesterday in a 6-4 loss to Boston. Went 1/3 of an inning, 10 pitches, and allowed a hit. Overall, 52 2/3, 49 hits, 27 runs, 26 earned, 10 homers, 11 walks, and 30 strikeouts. Oakland and Pittsburgh have changed owners a half dozen times since Reinsdorf bought the Sox, but fair enough. No, I see what you absolutely get what you're saying. Is there any ownership group in sports that's actually has a favorable reputation by their fans, from their fans? Bichette has struck out twice. Ramirez on first, ground ball to first. Konerko goes to Valentin for 1. Bichette will reach as there's no throw. 2 out. On the fielder's choice, 3-6. Here's Everett. Carl 1 for 2. Boston pretty much did to the Betts trade. Yeah, winning world. Actually, they've never handled things all that well. Toronto does. Yep, that makes sense. Rogers? I think the firing of Francona and Theo's escaping in the monkey suit. But we blame that on Lucchino. The Rooney family, of course, very favorable. Steeler fan. Even I would agree with that. The Maras with the Giants, especially when Wellington was alive. Pitch to Everett. Struck him out. Glover got him, and that'll do it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 6-4-3, Chicago. St. Louis, that's not the Bushes still, is it? The Dodgers, that's true. Not in Brooklyn, but DeWitt since 96 in St. Louis. Okay, Ray Durham, by the way, 1 for 3. Opening 27 for Cone, 91 pitches, 6 innings, 10 hits, 2 home runs. And Erco and Leifer, a walk and 7 strikeouts. Okay. But you would think more often than not that ownership is not considered to be fan-friendly. I wonder how the Magic Johnson's group will do with the Commanders. Pitch to Durham. Ground ball, base hit, past Nixon. So Durham's going to get 2. Nixon picks it up. Ray's going for 3. The throw is going to go cut off by Nomar, and for Durham, that's his 14th triple. So here's Valentin. Jose, 2 for 3. A double, a strikeout, and an RBI. Fun fact, DeWitt, as a little kid, had the 1/8 uniform that the franchise borrowed for Eddie Goodell's famous at-bat. So that was his uniform? That uniform belonged to the current Cardinals owner, now in his 80s. I guess he couldn't fit into it. Yep, both the Rooney and Mara actresses is a descendant of both families. So Durham on third. Cohen's pitch. Gone. I was going to bring the infield in. It won't matter. As Valentin hits the home run, and it's now 6-3 Chicago. Veck was the GM of the Browns. Yep, but DeWitt's father was the assistant general manager. I did not know that. Let's break Bernie's heart and show this home run again. That'll do it for Cone. You're getting a good sense why the White Sox are in the position that they're in. So who are we going to go with? We're going to go with... DeWitt's father is most famous for training Frank Robinson in 1965 for Milt Pappas. Reds papers called him Bill Dimwit after that. Yeah, I can understand that. We'll go with a Rojo. Rolando, 28th appearance. He's got 3 more starts. 6-1, a 2.86 ERA. 32 years old, fastball at 89 and a standard pitcher. Robbie was an old 30, he said in his defense. You're still not bitter about that, are you? Frank wins the Triple Crown his first year in Baltimore. No, you're still not bitter about that. In all seriousness, Rojo, by the way, 5 innings and a start on the 25th. 85 pitches, 3 hits, a solo homer, and 4 strikeouts. 72 in the 3rd inning, 62 hits, 25 runs, 23 earned, 9 homers. He walked 19 and struck out 49. Wasn't Pappas at least serviceable for you? I mean, it was a terrible trade. Almost as bad as who the Cardinals gave up for Lou Brock. Carlos Lee, by the way, 2 for 3. He singled twice and struck out. 6-3 White Sox, nobody out, top the 7th. Liner in the right, and again, Nixon's going to cut this one off, but Lee's into second. Nomar puts on a late tag. 13 hits now for the White Sox. Here's Ordonez. Maggie 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Brad says, dude, I'm bitter that the 1869-70 Red Stockings dissolved the franchise that winter and missed joining the first pro league just months later. Yeah, Pappas was above average for a good 7-8 years after. He threw the no-hitter for the Cubs. But no, to let Robinson go, just 4 World Series trips in 6 years or whatever it was. Pitch to Ordonez. Line drive to left. Ramirez is there. Lee goes back. Oh, he's going to dive. And Manny will let that drop in front of him. Lee will go to third. And the reason being, it just kind of stays in front. So first and third, as the White Sox are starting to put a shellacking on Boston. Here's Canseco, 1 for 2, single and RBI. And Royce Clayton is going to pinch hit. Remember, technically you don't pinch hit for the DH. Royce at 260, 7 homers and 38 RBI. Runners on the corners, nobody out, 6-3. There goes Ordonez. And Hatteberg will just let Ordonez have the base. And so for Maggie, it's his 19th steal. You're not going to walk Clayton for Konerko. But you will play the infielding with nobody out. Struck him out. An 0-2 fastball swung on and missed. Now you might walk Konerko to face Leifer. So Jeff had that solo home run. He's 1 for 3. He has struck out twice. That was 13 on the year. Red Sox trying to set up a double play. They trail 6-3, top to 7th. Ball 4. Walks home a run. Lee will score at 7-3. The late 50s Red Farm system had Claude Osteen, Mike Cuellar, Kurt Flood, Maury Wills, Tony Gonzalez, etc., and traded them all away. That's productive. Here's Singleton. Chris 1 for 3 with a single. And that's going to be a base hit. Ordonez will score. Konerko will hold at third. The bases remain loaded, and the White Sox, who trailed 3-1, are now up 8-3. Here's Mark Johnson. Mark 1 for 3, a double, a run scored, and a strikeout. And there's the rain delay we've waited for a while. So after 30 minutes, we hope you will enjoy. Now, Red Sox fan and the Three Stooges visit the 3M Tape Museum. A sticky situation for all involved. One out, Konerko on third, Leifer on second, Singleton on first. Hatteberg says, would you just get out of this inning? That's going to go past Steins in there for a base hit. Konerko will score. Leifer will hold at third and the bases remain loaded. Any thoughts on my next replay yet? 1988. If you've been watching on YouTube, you'd have known that. Ray Durham is 2 for 4. Triple for Ray. Scored twice. Be very curious to see what we get out of the American League East. Your Reds are a good team. Hatteberg and Arrojo again have a word. Or Durham into shallow left center. Everett rides the Schwinn, makes the catch. Leifer to tag. Everett to throw home. Hatteberg, it's going to be close and safe. So second and third now, 10-3 Chicago. Here's Valentin. Jose 3 for 4. He needs a triple for the cycle, as a matter of fact. Yes, that was the year with 5 teams within 4. Yeah. And Cleveland wasn't that bad either. That's the year the Orioles started 0-20. Yep. Yep. Baltimore started 0-21. Pitch to Valentin. Jose hits a ground ball to Steins. Over to Daubach for the out, and that will finally retire the side. 6 runs, 6 hits, stretch time, 10-3 White Sox. Brian Daubach is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Yep, that got Cal Sr. fired. The Yankees won RJL's replay, although to be fair, he does a lot more rounds of playoffs. He does the current playoff system. I don't think the Yankees won that division, though, in his replay. Pitch to Daubach. Struck him out. That's 2 for Glover, who had to wait the rain. Here's Hillenbrand, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Still 90 degrees. Wind's blowing out to the left of the turnpike. Threatening skies. Field is wet on this Sunday. Pitch to Hillenbrand. Struck him out. Glover in Fuego. An 0-2 fastball swung on and missed. It was the Yankees and Expos in his replay. I want to say that Detroit won that division for him. And again, that would all be in the plausible category. I don't think the Mets won their division, which was a surprise because I think going into the playoffs that year, Hatteberg, by the way, 1 for 2 with a strikeout. The Mets and the A's were the overwhelming favorites. Hatteberg into right center field for a base hit. 72. If we did as played, Dodgers missed the playoffs even with the expanded format. The Giants won that division, right? We'd have to find an as-scheduled schedule and do that because the reason why the Red Sox lost by half a game was because they didn't make up the games from the first strike. Chris Steins 1 for 3, a single and a run scored. part of the opening day game between Pittsburgh and the Mets from 72 is on YouTube. I want to see the corniest open in sports because it was a Saturday, and so it was a game of the week. Pitch to Steins, right up the middle, past Valentine, and the Red Sox have some life here. Hatterberg's going to try for third. I think that ball got wet. Singleton misplays it to throw to Leifer, and that is not in time. So the poor play and a wet ball, first and third, 2 out for Trot Nixon, who had his 25th of the year in the first. He is 1 for 3. Yep, Bowie Kuhn. Well, just remember last year they didn't make up the games from the lockout too, so, or did they? I haven't thought about what I'm going to do for the outer wheelhouse yet. We're still 2 years away from that. In the year 2025, 25-25. That's a long time from now. Pitch to, well, Nixon, and will, as soon as Glover and Johnson are done. Nixon ground ball, first base side, foul. And somebody from Bellows Falls, Vermont made that play. Ball and 2 strikes to count to Nixon. Struck him out, so Glover eventually gets the side, and that'll do it. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. We go to the 8th here at Fenway, 10-3, White Sox. Well, Derek Lowe, ace with Vegas for the 25 season per the lease. I can't see that being tenable next year, can you? Lowe, 45th appearance, 9-4, 19 saves. He's blown 10, and a 4.21 ERA. 28 years old, ground ball plus pitcher, fastball at 93. A's won't move wild if they owe money to Alameda County. Yeah, they're not spending a lot of money. Bernie will be happy to have baseball there. So Lowe pitched yesterday in a 6-4 win. Got the save. Inning and 2/3, 36 pitches. 2 hits, a run it was earned. 72 and 2/3, 75 hits, 37 runs, 34 earned, 5 homers, 28 walks, and 72 strikeouts. Carlos Lee is 3 for 4. He singled twice, doubled, scored, and struck out. Ground ball to Hillenbrand. Over to Dahlbach, 1 out. Brings up Ordonez, who is 1 for 4. He has singled, struck out, stolen a base, and scored. Everybody's got a hit in this game, except Royce Clayton, who came in for Jose Canseco for the White Sox. Struck him out. A 1-2 fastball swung on and missed. I don't know if Bernie's still here or if he's watching the Celtics game. What's the scuttlebutt in Vegas? 24 or 25? Here's Clayton. He struck out his first time up. Low winds and deals. Base hit, right center field. So everybody and their monkey has it. Retro Sheet has the original 72 schedule and a text file. Someone's doing that in Strat. I've been reading that. The Mets can contend that year, too. Konerko, by the way, a solo homer. That came off of David Cohn. His 19th. He's now driven in 83. He's 1 for 2. Clayton on first. 2 outs here in the 8th. Got him. So swung on a miss, and that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th. No runs, a hit. The White Sox have left on 8, but when you score 10, it really doesn't matter. 10-3 Chicago. So here's Nomar. Nomar is 1 for 3. And if you're wondering why he has the name Nomar, they're not sure. Probably will play 1 year in the minor league stadium. Okay. Yeah. Nomar's father's name as Nomar. Base hit up the middle. So he goes 2 for 4. is Roman. His father's name is Roman Garcia Parra. And so Nomar is Roman spelled backwards. Here's Manny Ramirez. He homered. And now it's 35 on the replay. 99 RBI, 2 for 3. Yeah, parts of that were real tough, Brad. Struck him out. A full count curveball got him looking. So that's 5 for Gary in 2 innings. Dante Bichette is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. That podcast got John quite a few sales, Brad. 1 out. Fly ball left field. Lee will come in and make the catch. Nomar goes back to first. Digital Diamond, Brad, with that companion just makes cards and dice baseball so much easier. And Appa Basic is a very good game. Here's Everett, 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out. You know what I've really enjoyed? I've really enjoyed the Status Pro. Pitch to Everett. Carl swings, line drive to right. Ordonez right there, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit, no errors. We go to the 9th here at Fenway. Chicago 10, Boston 3. So Leifer, Singleton, and Johnson to face Lowe here in the 9th. Jeff 1 for 3. A home run, his 13th, by the way. He's driven in 2, now it's 34. Scored twice, struck out twice. Feast or famine for Leifer, and draws the walk. You are correct. Status Pro is the one with the guy that sells the updated cards on eBay, but if you get the new version of Digital Diamond, those cards for every season are included for free, along with the charts to play, because it is technically a dead game. Included. Here's Singleton. Chris is 2 for 4. Single twice, driven in a run. Absolutely. And you can play any baseball game you want with it. But yeah, Mark not only has his game included for the price of admission, but yeah, the Status Pro cards are all there. Pitch to Singleton. Drops one down with a 7-run lead. Low throws to Nomar to get Leifer there. And that Atlanta catcher's in another fight. Why are you bunting up 7 runs? Hatterberg has a few words for the Chicago dugout. Here's Johnson, 2 for 4. A double, an RBI, a run scored, and a strikeout. I find it real easy to use. They're all keyboard commands. To put the results in, and he's thought of a lot of different things. And he's pretty much inviting people to play his game or any game with that. So if you have the cards, go right to it. As far as Status Pro, I'm not a huge fan of fast action cards in baseball games. But I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. Some of the... And you can tell, if you get on the batter's card, those pitchers can be in trouble. Yeah. Now, granted, I've never done manual entry in replay. You can do it in Strat as well, but it just makes it so easy. And the games you don't want to play, you can use the Digital Diamond engine for, and it will quick sim them for you. Pitch to Johnson. Ground ball, base hit right side. Nixon will pick it up. So first and second, 1 out for Ray Durham, who's 2 for 4. Single, triple, RBI, and 2 runs scored. What other hobbies? Although Strat, I think, has done a good job this year. Wizards of the Coast. Oh! Burn one bridge after the next on the RPG space this year, too. Is that the new release of Dungeons & Dragons? Pitch to Durham. And it hit him. So in a game that's pretty much over, One out here. Bases loaded for Valentin. 3 for 5. He needs a triple for the cycle still. He's driven in 3, now has 56. Struck him out. And that's the least the bad thing they've done to lose business. Okay. So 1-2, low, one batter away from getting out of this. Carlos Lee 3 for 5, 2 singles, a double, a run scored, and a strikeout. Bases loaded. Lee, a little ground ball down to third. Hillenbrand is just going to eat it. And for Carlos Lee, that's his 4th hit today. So 11-3 Chicago. I'm sure Pesky Poe won't want to watch this now. 19 hits for the White Sox. Here's Ordonez, 1 for 5. 1 scored, stolen base, and 2 strikeouts. I'm not going to... Wow! My personal favorite was giving an interview where some businessman said white men can't leave the hobby fast enough. Oh my goodness. That's bad. That's really bad. Ordonez draws the walk. It's now 12-3. Here's Clayton, 1 for 2 with the strikeout. I'll give the old Skip Carey line. As long as you promise to go shop at our sponsors, you can leave now. Aaron Rowan will not pinch hit. Clayton, base hit, left center field. Durham will score. Lee will score, and it's 15-3. The White Sox have 20 hits now, 14-3. They hired Pinkertons to go to someone's home to intimidate the guy a few weeks ago because they shipped the guy the wrong product. Yeah. You thought we were all nuts. Canerco 1 for 3, 19th of the year, driven in 83. Lowe's ERA's got to be ballooning at this point. Adberg says, I want to go home. Ball 4. I'm really going to have to bring in another pitcher to get out of this, huh? Lowe's ERA is now 4.60. Here comes Rich Garces, El Guapo. Strad hasn't done anything bad this year. Garces 1-0 a save, a 4.30 ERA, 40th appearance. 30 years old, curveball at 89, and a fly ball pitcher. Yeah, imagine one of them saying, fans over 50 need to leave the hobby. Yeah. El Guapo pitched yesterday, got 1 out, 13 pitches, a walk and a hit. So 46 innings, 38 hits, 23 runs, 22 earned, a home run, 19 walks, and 35 strikeouts. The Red Sox down 14-3. Yeah, I love that name. Leifer, by the way, 1 for 3, a solo homer, and he's driven in 2. In the right, Nixon, he's the one, makes the catch to retire the side. So 4 more for Chicago on 3 hits and no errors. Yeah, this was Phyllis Dillerugly. 14 runs, 20 hits, no errors for the White Sox. They've left on 11, which you can do when you score 14 runs. The Red Sox need 11 to tie and 12 to win. Daubach is 0 for 3. Bryan has struck out twice. Ground ball to third. Leifer. Miracles do happen, that's for sure. Had a long rain delay in this one. Hillenbrand is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. Shea into right center. Singleton going back there, and that is off the wall in center field. Hillenbrand has 2. He'll hold right there with the 16th double, and Bob Howery's coming in to pitch. Brad will believe that when Manfred resigns. Howery 3-0, 2 saves. An earned run average of 282, 27 years old, fastball at 93, and a ground ball pitcher. Last pitched against the Indians on the 26th. in a 5-3 win, 1 inning, 17 pitches, a hit, and 2 strikeouts. Please keep writing Santa to tell him you've been a good boy this year. The circular file won't be emptied again until Labor Day. 51 innings for Bob, 50 hits, 16 runs, all earned, 4 homers, 11 walks, and 47 strikeouts. So Hatterberg 2 for 3, by the way. Scott is singled twice and struck out. Howell restarts his night with ball 4. Yeah, not even halfway to Christmas. Here's Steins. Chris is 2 for 4. How many rough drafts? I promise, I swear that I won't pull my sister's pigtails again till New Year's. Steins 2 for 4. He singled twice with a run scored. First and second. Base hit right field. Ordonez will pick it up. Hillenbrand will score. Hatterberg goes to third. And the Red Sox have a run. It's now a 10-run lead. Nixon homered in the first. He now has 25. So runners on the corners, 1 out. Tribe fan waiting, says maybe the Red Sox were just waiting for you. That'd be pretty awesome, Tim. Pitch to Nixon. Struck him out. And so now, last chance saloon is Nomar Garcia-Parra. Nomar 2 for 4. A single twice in his season debut. Hatterberg on third. Steins on first. 2 out. Howery deals. Fly ball left field. Not a lot of foul territory here at Fenway. And that will be caught again by an adoring fan who grew up in Rochester, New York. So a ball and 2 strikes to Nomar. Howery trying to end this one. Ground ball to third. That should do it. Leifer goes to Durham. And the White Sox win a laugher here, 14-4. Vegas up 3-0, and Jamie Benn ejected with a 5-minute major. Thanks, Brad. They should go call a hill to climb. So, in 3 hours and 54 fake minutes, the pain is over. Yeah, Bernie, this was a rough one. The White Sox spoiled Nomar Garcia-Parra's 2001 debut, 14-4. 14 runs, 20 hits, no errors. They left on 11. The Red Sox 4 runs, 12 hits, no errors, and they left on 8. We're going to give Jose Valentin, who went 3 for 6 and 3 RBI, the Digital Dice MVP. Sean Lowe, 5-2 now, 5 1/3, 6 strikeouts, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers. David Cone, and if. The rest of this Sunday in baseball now. Houston beats Pittsburgh 6-1. Wade Miller 10-5. Richie 5-11. Jeff Bagwell 20th of the year, 2 for 4 and 3 RBI. Coney baloney is a good word for it. Look, Brad, your Reds won. Kevin Apier goes the distance, throws a 1-hitter, strikes out 8, and they beat the Phillies 2-0. Figueroa 2-2. Montreal beats Atlanta 3-2. Graham Lloyd 3-5. Kerry Lightenberg 3-3. Oogie Urbita with his 21st save. Cleveland beats the Tigers 2-1. Dave Burba goes to 8-9. Sparks 6-11. Kevin Wickman with his 20th save. Toronto, my goodness, 14-2 over the Yankees. Hamilton goes to 3-11. I'm not sure when did Junior go off the DL? Andy Pettit is 6-6. Latham 2 for 3 with a homer. The White Sox pound out 20 hits in their 14-4 win. Cubs lose to the Cardinals 3-2. Matt Moore is 10-4. Toronto, by the way, had 18 hits. Wow, it's a ton of highlights to read here. Tavares 5-6. Tucker 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. Arizona, Randy Johnson strikes out 16 in 8 1/3. San Francisco strikes out 16 times, 8-2 the final. Randy 14-3. Sean Estes, heaven help us, 6-9. Gonzalez 2 for 4, 2 RBI, and a triple. Seattle 7-1 over Minnesota.
They now won 70 games. Freddie Garcia, 13-6. Aaron Milton, 7-12. John Oler, 2 for 3, is 13th. Oakland, 5. Kansas City, 3. Barry Zito, 9-4. Wilson, 2-6. Jeremy Giambi, 2 for 3, is 12th of the year, and a double. The Reds get a grand slam from Aaron Boone, who drives in 7. They get 21 hits and build around the Marlins, 16-8. Brower, 5-5. A.J. Burnett, 9-5. Kevin Millar cowboyed up in a losing effort. 3 for 4 is 11th with 4 RBI. Milwaukee shuts out San Diego 4-0. Wright, 7-6. Jarvis, 10-4. Casanova, a love story, 1 for 2 with his 10th of the year. Texas beats Tampa 8-6. Helling, 11-5. Kennedy, 3-3. Rodriguez, 3 for 4, is 33rd with a stolen base. James Baldwin, 2 hits shutout through 8. Mike Grudzieloznik, a 15-game hitting streak. They beat the Rockies 3-1. Chacon, 5-7. Alex Cora, 1 for 2, is 4th of the year. And last but not least, Anaheim shuts out Baltimore 11-0. Valdez, 4-4. Mercedes, no one wants to drive that one, boy, 9-7. Brady Anderson, 3 for 5, is 4 RBI and a double. And that Montreal win over Atlanta, Tony Armas Jr., 3-hitter, struck out 6. Ichiro now has a 20-game hitting streak, and Ismael Valdez struck out 9 through 7, just allowed 3 hits. Tomorrow we start August for you with the Braves and the Cardinals. Greg Maddux versus Darryl Kyle. And then on Thursday at lunch we'll have Seattle and Cleveland for you. From Cleveland, Jamie Moyer and Bartolo Colon. Until then, I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much for watching. We will talk to you tomorrow and get the month of August underway from Busch. So long, everybody. Have a good night.